Welcome to today's news briefing. Up next, we'll take a look at the latest developments unfolding across the world's major hotspots.
Event number 1. Ukraine carried out a precision attack on the Russian logistics base at Donetsk Airport. Event number 2. The Ukrainian Army destroyed many valuable Russian air defense systems with UAV aircraft. Event number 3. Russian opposition politician revealed Putin's fear of the risk of an internal coup.
And now, for the details.
Ukraine has shared footage showing the aftermath of an ATACMS and SCALP/Storm Shadow missile strike on a Russian Shahed drone storage and launch site at Donetsk International Airport. The facility was struck in the early hours of March 7th. The video captures the moment of the strikes, followed by powerful explosions and thick plumes of black smoke as the facility was completely destroyed. The operation involved U.S.-provided ATACMS short-range ballistic missiles and French SCALP air-launched long-range cruise missiles. In a statement from the General Staff's press service, the strike was described as a coordinated effort by units of the missile and artillery forces of the Ukrainian Army, in cooperation with aircraft from the Ukrainian Air Force. The strike caused a massive fire at the site, followed by a series of secondary explosions. Footage released from the operation shows precision munitions hitting their targets, followed by large explosions and dense smoke rising from the area. As part of a broader effort to degrade the Russian invaders' combat capabilities, Ukrainian units also carried out additional strikes on March 6th and into the early hours of March 7th. Among the targets were a Russian drone control center near the settlement of Dibrova in the eastern Luhansk region, as well as a command and observation post near Kurylivka in the Kharkiv region. Ukraine incinerated expensive Russian air defense assets in occupied territories. Operators from Ukraine's Unmanned Systems Forces, known as SBS, struck a $40.50 million Buck medium-range mobile surface-to-air missile system, a $20.25 million Tor short-range air defense system, a $14.15 million Pantsir S-1 combined missile and anti-aircraft artillery system, as well as an approximately $40 million S-300 volts long-range air defense system in the occupied areas of southeastern Zaporizhia and Kherson regions overnight on March 6th. The operation was conducted using first-person view (FPV) drones. Footage of the operation was shared on social media. The dramatic video captures the moments of precise strikes targeting the defense systems in various areas along the front line. Together, the targets struck form a key component of Russia's layered air defense system, ranging from short-range point defense to long-range interception. Targeting these systems is strategically important, as destroying their radars and launchers creates gaps in Russia's air defense network, allowing Ukrainian drones and missiles to penetrate deeper into occupied territories or even into Russia itself. The situation is becoming tense in the Zaporizhia and Kherson regions, which connect Ukraine to the Black Sea coast and the land corridor to the Crimean Peninsula. Meanwhile, the General Staff of the Ukrainian Armed Forces reported 136 combat engagements between Russian troops and Ukrainian fighters on Friday, with the highest pressure recorded in the Huliai sector. A Russian opposition leader, Gennady Gudkov, has detailed the preventive measures being taken inside the Kremlin. Gennady Gudkov said, "Today it is very difficult to organize a coup due to the high level of technology we live with, but a similar thing in Russia is practically impossible." Putin has a pathological fear for his own safety, so he is taking unprecedented measures to protect himself, organizing surveillance on even his closest associates. The politician revealed Putin's method for escaping plots from the elites. Blocking the internet is for the people, but for those around Putin, strict control is established over everyone. Where they went, what they said, who met whom, who went where, and why. I just want to give an example. How does the casino system work? These casinos hire the most notorious former cheaters, and they watch the hands. They know exactly that in this game, the dealer makes 7 moves, while another makes 12. And anything unusual immediately attracts attention, and they start to closely monitor this or that person when there are extra moves. The same thing is happening now in the Kremlin. The Kremlin is now monitoring in the same way for any extra movements by officials in Putin's entourage. They are tracking who goes where, who meets whom, who celebrates a birthday, who congratulates whom, who sends what to whom, and who invites whom where. All of this is now being meticulously analyzed to prevent conspiracies. Gudkov shared, "In my opinion, organizing a conspiracy in today's world is much harder than in any other century because people are like labeled atoms. They use phones, they are online, they move and their geolocation is recorded. Cameras are everywhere, and so on." Gudkov answered the question of whether Putin could repeat the fate of Maduro or Khamenei. The politician expressed the opinion that Khamenei was sold out by his own inner circle. When a huge army is at your gates, what will your inner circle do? They sell you out, betray you, and bargain. Obviously, there are technical means and resources, but spies are at work. Maduro was sold out by his own people, and so was Khamenei. There is no doubt about it. That's why when they fired a missile at him, they knew where, which room, and what he was doing. It was done by people in his inner circle. That is absolutely obvious, and they took a picture and published it so that no one would doubt that Khamenei had ended his life. Gudkov then added that this is an indirect signal to Putin. Of course, Moscow will not be besieged, and the Navy will not be stationed somewhere on the Moscow River or even on the Neva with Tomahawk cruise missiles and all that. That's not going to happen. But a severe military defeat could trigger the collapse and implosion of Putin's regime. In 2023, there was a serious crisis at the top when Putin's occupying army fled from Ukraine. There was a small breeze from the Ukrainian front, but even this breath of wind sobered them up from their propaganda-induced intoxication, and they sent their people to Europe and the United States to negotiate.